A 2012 decision by the Maryland Supreme Court resulted in the release of nearly 200 inmates sentenced for rape and murder before 1981.
Since their release, a new study shows they have not been a risk to society despite their violent past. The average age of these inmates is about 65 years old, serving about 40 years in prison. It's been 5 years since their release. As Drew Petrimoulx reports, advocates say they're proof you can age out of crime.
70-year-old Stanley Mitchell has a new life. He's an advocate for criminal justice reform and works with troubled youth.
There's politics and everything.
Every week in Washington, he meets with other advocates to talk about his experience behind bars and strategy for change.
I got life plus 18 years.
In 1978, Mitchell was convicted of being the getaway driver in a home break-in that turned deadly, a crime Mitchell says he did not commit. Nevertheless, he languished in prison for decades.
It's like you're in a deep hole, and you can't see no light.
After serving 35 years, Mitchell was released along with nearly 200 other older inmates. Maryland's highest court ruled that jury instructions in rape and murder cases prior to 1981 were unconstitutional. 5 years later, the Justice Policy Institute is out with a new study following the inmates since their release.
So no significant impact or negative impact on public safety, great amount of savings for Maryland taxpayers.
Of the 188 inmates, only 5 returned to prison. The savings, $185 million. Mark Schindler with JPI wants to apply the lesson nationwide.
We can safely think about ways that we can have them back in our communities.
A bipartisan criminal justice reform package working its way through Congress allows more elderly and terminally ill inmates to apply for release. But the bill faces opposition from tough-on-crime lawmakers and could get caught up in congressional gridlock. Stanley Mitchell is looking out at a new future. He hopes change allows others like him to live their final years outside the walls of prison. In Washington, I'm Drew Petrimoulx.
Well, among the most vocal critics of the criminal justice reform package is Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton. Prosecutors and some law enforcement organizations have also voiced concern. Senator Cotton recently tweeted his opposition to the package. You can see what he has to say at fox16.com. It's on our homepage.